came into the stars we rise.
This is Astrology Aesthetic, where you claim your power and remember who you really are. I'm Kiki, and together we'll work with the stars to guide the way. All right, welcome back, Starseeds. So tomorrow, in fact, is the Spring Equinox. And this is one of my favorite times of the year simply because day and night come into balance. And energetically and astrologically, it starts a brand new cycle. So diving right in, what the equinox means, if you split the word, equa is equal and nox is night, it translates to the equal night. And what I love about this is we are literally coming out of Pisces season, and that in itself, that sign is a duality. And so for us to start equally with that yin yang, so cool. So here's the cool part about the springtime is, well, actually, let's take a couple steps back. Think back to January when the New Year's resolutions, all of the traction around that happens. The irony behind it all is that we're in the middle of winter. Like in the northern hemisphere, we're in deep winter. Nature's resting, the trees are bare, animals are hibernating, and the ground is cold. Like you cannot plant something when the ground is frozen. And yet culturally, we are told to be our most productive selves. It's like, okay, you've got to do X, Y, Z. Here's the recap on the last year. And our bodies are literally still in winter mode. And winter energy is all about reflection, introspection. Let's think about the signs. So we've got Sagittarius, which is the truth teller, the honest one, the optimist, and Capricorn, which is largely where this energy can come from, is we're thinking about the future and steps that we can take towards it, which you're still absolutely allowed to and invited to do in January, but there's a time and a place to take that action. So hold that thought. And then we touch in on Aquarius and that energy of like building the systems and just thinking about, okay, what, again, that future type mindset kind of comes into play. And then we have Pisces, where we're literally split into two almost. I will just say, for a lot of people, they experience the energy of the spirit world, the 5D, and also the reality of the 3D. And so winter is full of these really rich textures and energies, and it is such a great time to be and just within. There's a lot to think about and feel and sort through, and that's not the time for action. None of those signs are working together the way they are for you to push yourself past, the barrier of what you're feeling to take immediate action. So with that, there are a lot of really cool things that happen. So if you look at what you've learned, especially this winter season, and especially these last few weeks as we've been in Pisces, there's probably been a lot of dreams or messages that have come through and you just haven't known what to do with them. Now is the time where you start acting on that. So Aries season starts the zodiac wheel cycle. We've talked about this a few different times. And so going through the wheel, we go through every season. The sun's made it through every zodiac sign. And now we're starting over with Aries. So Aries itself is the initiator. It's the start. It's such a great time for when the energy shifts. So let's talk about spring. Looking at spring, seeds are sprouting, flowers are beginning to, bloom. There's more sun. So springtime is the time of year that things naturally shift. So people tend to feel more motivated to get outside. More people tend to take their health more seriously. It's no accident that it's easier for people to follow through on these things that they originally committed to in January. And the timing of it makes perfect sense. I mean, think about spring cleaning is another one. That's not just a thing we do every year just because that's what everyone else does. It's one of those intuitive things. You're cleaning out your closet, you're cleaning out the corners of the fridge. All of these things are very intuitive because you're moving energy that is stale and no longer serving and creating space for a brand new cycle. So it all ties in. And the reason that works really well with closing out Pisces season, starting Aries season, and being this doorway in this transition period is spring is quite messy. It has highs and lows, it ebbs and flows. There is a flower blooming one second and then it's snowing the next day. And, there's really big windstorms, or you hear the birds outside and they're literally regulating your nervous system. So nature is adjusting, and that is the invitation that it's okay for you to adjust as well. It's all just a mirror. And another thing I want to touch on with the equinox, as previously mentioned, some flowers bloom very quickly. Like it is the very, very beginning of spring and there's already flower blooming, or just those plants that are right on time. But growth has its own schedule, it has its own timeline, and we don't tell the cherry blossoms, like, hey, hurry up and bloom already. Like, go ahead and do that. You can't rush that process. So I invite you not to do that to yourself. It's one of those things where I know, trust me, I know that you're meant for something, or you're doing your best to step into this new version of you, or you just don't quite have the full picture, or it's like you're doing a puzzle and you have most of the pieces in the middle, but you don't have all of them. So you're not clear on the picture, and that's totally fine. It just makes the journey that much more beautiful. It makes the plot that much more interesting. Growth has its own timing, and nothing you can do to rush it or force it will help you at all. It's just one of those things about practicing to trust the process. I get that timing can be difficult, and I definitely feel like there are starseeds who just are so passionate and so ready to contribute and to be all that they're meant to be. And hear me when I tell you, you already are. You are more than enough in this moment. You are doing more than you feel or think you're doing. And I just want to emphasize that, again, you cannot force a cherry blossom, or whatever your favorite plant or tree is, you cannot force it to grow. And if you have ever seen those time-lapse videos of a plant or a flower growing and then blooming, it looks like it's doing basically nothing underground, but the roots are growing really deep. And then you see it break through the soil, and then all of a sudden it's just greenery, or whatever plant you're thinking of, or this process. The growth is so minuscule to the naked eye, and there's so much happening behind the scenes. This is also true for you. So just know that your spirit guides are working behind the scenes. Your higher self is also laying out the track for you to go down. And just do yourself a favor and take a breath and be present. Like they call it, this is so cliche, but it's so true. They call it the present for a reason because it is a literal gift to be in the here and now. All right, I do have an equinox ritual and we are going to work with the sunlight. And the reason we're going to work with the sunlight is because the sun is one of the most integral pieces in the spring. And of course, we get to also channel that energy. So pick sunrise or sunset. Trust you already know which one you are. And you're going to sit outside in the sunlight if possible. And then you're going to take 3 deep breaths. And it's always inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And if you want a +1, you're going to do, after you inhale through your nose, you're going to do a tiny extra, like breath in at the top. So it's like the extra little thing. It activates your vagus nerve, which again immediately will regulate you and make it easier for divine messages to come through when you're feeling calm. So sit outside in the sun, take 3 deep breaths, and then hold something that represents fresh energy. So this can be a lemon, some seeds, or even a crisp dollar bill. Whatever represents fresh energy to you. Again, trust what came to mind. And when you're sitting outside with this item, you can sit and tune in with what's been blooming in your life. And it can literally be what's just begun to bloom, what is sprouted, what has been planted over this last year even, or these last few months that deserves some nourishment. And a couple examples can be feelings like confidence or self-love. It can be tangible things like your business. It can be personal relationships or even things like creative outlets or hobbies. So choose the first thing that comes to mind. And I invite you to choose one because yes, you can have a whole garden of things and I love that. But for this, just choose one. And you're going to sit with your eyes closed and then you're going to feel the sun on your face and you're going to ask the sun, how can I nourish what's been blooming? And then you're just going to sit and wait quietly and notice the first feeling, thought, image, or voice or words that come to mind. And trust that. And after your message comes through, you're going to use the object, the fresh object, in something afterwards. So, for example, if you were holding a lemon, you're going to go inside and you can make lemonade or choose easy and just make lemon water. If you held some seeds, you're going to take the time and plant the seeds. If you held some money, you're going to spend that money in relation to what has been blossoming. Okay, so for example, if you have been expanding your creative outlets with art, spend that money on a new paintbrush. So with this fresh item and using it, it signals to spirit, source, God, universe, whatever you believe in, hey, I have received this message and I am acting on it. Because by taking committed action, it signals that you're in a space to receive continuously, more than just the meditating outside. So with that, whatever has been blooming in your life right now, take the time to nourish it. And just remember, Aries is the ram and it does not need a trail to go up the mountain. It is a very brave and action-oriented sign. This time, this season rewards that. It rewards bravery. It rewards courage. So take the time to act on that. So again, to recap, you're going to sit in the sun, take 3 breaths, hold that fresh energy item, think about what's blooming in your life, ask the question, how can I nourish what's blooming? And after your answer comes through, use the fresh energy item in a form that is also nourishing. So know that the answer that came through for you has a divine purpose. And so lean into that, take the action, and be open to what follows. And that's all I have for you today, Starseeds. Have a happy spring, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm so grateful you tuned in today. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. If you'd like to explore pieces that align with your starseed purpose, visit astrologyaesthetic.com. Trust yourself. You're exactly where you're meant to be.